I'm almost better. Let's wrap up the week. Hey everybody, this is Spooky's Revenge. We're back for another episode of the 5-year $500 Rags to Riches series. I'm still feeling like garbage, but it's important that I make these on bad days as well as good days. So I'm feeling better, but not great. Okay, so well, first off, thanks for putting up with my voice. So let me get my face minimized here. And the next major episode that I plan to do is diversification by yield. It's more oriented to the dividend side of things, which is kind of a murky topic that I haven't really gone into yet. So it's just going to be breaking things down more. So first, for this stream, since I'm not feeling so hot, let's just talk about more of the DCA stuff, just so we can kind of understand how that works, because I see a lot of people are still struggling with the speculative side of things, and that's okay. I also want to talk about my the weekly wrap-up with the spreadsheet for the team. So let's just dive right into it. I'm going to get my face out of the way completely here, just so that we can see the whole chart. And this morning, while I was on my live stream, the order here, the sell order for 45 shares of my 47 shares on MDAI filled. I was about half hour in the market open, and it dinged, and I didn't know what was going on, so I checked it, and it was this, so it reduced. And that's cool, but let's walk down into the two different scenarios here. So scenario number one, all right, here's the orders. When I started buying this, the price was $3.17, and I bought some more shares of the same size, $3.21 roughly. So that put my average somewhere around 318, 319, somewhere, right? Which is up here, right? So this blue line here represents my cost basis, my average at the time. So the first two buys are right here. Price came down, price went up. It didn't go higher though, so I didn't want to buy any more. I missed my opportunity to buy down here. I just didn't have any cash. And yeah, that would have been a nice little pop, but I missed it, and that's okay. And then the price was falling down here, holding the support. I decided to buy once more on this little curl. And we had the increasing volume here. It's kind of hard to see, but decided that was a good enough opportunity here for this fib retracement, and it fell off. So that's okay. That happens, right? The goal isn't to be right all the time. It's to be prepared. So what I did is I bought 5 shares here, 5 shares there. Then at $2.45 on that little curl with the fib retracement zone, I doubled my position. This is the Martingale approach, and it's a well-known gambling strategy that hurts a lot of people. So quick backstory, there was a casino owner back in the 17th century, I believe, or 1700s, I don't remember exactly. And he developed a strategy, and he would kind of give it to his patrons as a little insider secret. And he'd say, if you double your bet every time, you're bound to walk away. All you have to do is win once. But they didn't do the math. And what happens is you double your risk every single time you double your position size, every time you place a bet. This was, I believe, at the roulette table. I can't be 100% sure. I'd have to look it up. But when you win, you're really only winning 1 unit of whatever you bet. So the math just doesn't work, and that's why a lot of people struggle with it. And that's why it's not really safe for casinos. It's not safe for the stock market unless you understand the risks and can put rules in place to prevent yourself from spinning out of control with the risk. So a lot of people kind of crap on the Martingale strategy, but we teach it correctly so that it doesn't hurt you, because there has to be a capitulation point. So that's the strategy I'm using here. And reverse Martingale is the same thing. It's just you have to identify the pitfalls and not fall into them. So in this case, I placed my first buy here, which is broken up into these 2 buys, but we'll just consider these 10 shares each. 10 shares here, 10 shares here. Now, these aren't equal dollar size buys, which they normally would be, but I just wanted to double the number of shares in this case. So bought 10 more shares at $2.45, right? So I bought first here, bought first here. That lowered my average somewhere around this level on that third buy. And then the price dropped, right? It didn't hold the level, and I was okay to add some more up to $100. Sorry. And then when it got down to 205, right? It got down here, and I wanted to take advantage of this, and I had cash this time because I didn't catch it over here. I wanted to catch it again here as I saw it was holding the $2 level, and I just wanted to catch it on the way back up, and that's what I did. So I placed my fourth buy here, and that reduced my average yet again from up here down to here this time. So not only did I start buying up here at the $3.11-ish range, lowered my average to $2.80, and then lowered it again down to $2.36. So I've reduced all that profit range, all that risk range, just by buying more shares. And the problem with the Martingale is that you become very top heavy if you do it too aggressively. That's why I wanted to make sure these were nice and far apart. There's over $1 or 33+% price range here, and I made sure I spread my buys out effectively and that they were increasing on the way down, so I was saving the bigger buys for last. So essentially, if we just break this up into 3 chunks, we got one chunk here of same size, and then one chunk here of same size of everything combined plus some, just to weigh it down and really pull that average down. And then I immediately set a stop loss 2 cents above my break even at $2.38, and it was for all but 2 of the shares, right? So I don't really care how many shares I have in here. I just wanted to catch some of it for the push to the upside. And what that does, and I knew that I wanted to have, after I put that last buy in, I wanted it to hold the $2 level. If it closed below this low here, I would have just taken the stop out. Bigger position size is bigger risk, and we don't want that. So my number one priority after putting that last buy in is to reduce my risk exposure. So no matter if it went up or down below this low, I was going to reduce it no matter what. And again, if I take the loss, it's okay because I get that back in my taxes. If I take a profit, that's okay because I can reinvest it. What I did is I freed up my cash, and I got 2 cents per share profit, which is 45 shares. That's a 90-cent profit that I didn't have before. So at the end of the day, I walked away with 2 shares, 90 cents cash profit. And what I've done on those 2 shares is I've taken my average from up here at 309 or whatever, 310, whatever, brought it down to 236. So if I just bought and held those same 2 shares right here, and the price went up here as it did today, I would be breaking even, right? I'd be back at $0. But instead, since I prioritized lowering that average in an efficient and safe way, what I've done is I've taken all that range where it would just be drawdown and unrealized loss potential, and I've turned that into profitable territory. So now, when the price is up here, I'm sitting at 35% profit on those 2 shares. So if I think about it, it's pretty easy to see why this is advantageous. The drawback to this is that a lot of people try to do this incorrectly and they hurt themselves. They either do it on stocks that just keep falling, or they don't wait for confirmations before they add, or they just keep adding on red candles, or they put all their buys like right here, not far enough apart. There's all kinds of pitfalls that we need to be aware of if we're going to try something like this. And if you don't want to try something like this, you can always just cut those positions, take the small loss, use it for your taxes, and then re-enter when it's starting to push back up again after finding a support or whatever your specific strategy is. So, this might look cool and all, but if it's something that you've tried and you can't do, that's okay. We can work on it. Or if you don't feel comfortable even trying it, that's okay too. You can paper trade, get some practice, or you can just avoid it altogether and take those smaller, more frequent stop losses and re-enter on confirmations when it's going to the upside, because somebody who did that would be in down here, and I'm up here still, or even down here. Let's say you placed your first buy here. Let's say you stopped out here, and then placed your first buy here. This one wouldn't have stopped out. You'd be up here now, pure profit. That would have easily outweighed your losses. So there are 1,000 different ways to do this stuff. I'm just showing you what I personally prefer to do on some of these positions with proof, right? Because the proof is really what matters here. I can tell you theories all day, but I'm showing you guys episode after episode that I'm doing it real time on my positions with real cash on the small account and real shares. So I did the same thing on MBI. I kind of walked you guys through that. Now that was a little bit wonky because we had the special dividend in the mix, but it's the same exact strategy, just under a different skin. All right. So hopefully this is a visual enough representation of what I was doing and how it works. So, if you do this on your own, just please be careful. And if you don't know how to figure it out, you can always ask. So let me update this, 24, 22, 68, I believe. Yeah, okay, so I'm using this number up here. Now I'm going to move on to the spreadsheet here, and you can see that most of the team is set up. We got a couple people that still didn't set theirs up, and that's okay. It is Friday at the end of the day, but everyone's kind of busy and stuff, so I'm not too obsessed with it. This week I didn't make any contributions. My end result for the portfolio value is up about $10 from last week. However, we are now a week closer to um, February's contribution. So that's pretty cool. That'll be next week. And also, you can see that we're up about $10, but we're also up 3 shares on Tesla here. So what I did on Tesla is we had a nasty sell-off because Tesla had earnings and it didn't do well. We had a nasty sell-off. I just wanted to buy some below $9. That's just a level that I had plotted. And I'd like to save some more just in case we lose this low here. And if that's the case, that's okay, right? Because this is a position where I don't really care if it sells off because that just gets me a lot cheaper shares. Which means I can buy more, and that means I get more dividends and blah, blah, blah. Or it goes horribly against me. I realize the speculative loss, and then I get it on my taxes at the end of the year. But I've already collected dividends to offset my cost basis, so it's pretty good either way. But I just picked up 3 shares. I just wanted to pick up a few extra just going into February. I'll probably add some more before the ex-div date, so this just kind of count toward that. But I really wanted to pull the average down just a little bit on those 3 shares. I just wanted to get a little bit. All right, so Johnson & Johnson, all these other positions I haven't really added anything to because I haven't been speculating enough to make profits to put into them. So most of my money is already tied up in these longer term positions and the holds. The rest of it's just kind of hanging out with the speculative stuff. And you can see, if I look right here, it's been kind of a mixed month. There's been a lot of noise in the market, especially with Tesla Drawdown pulling down Tesla. My Neo Leap kind of deflated a little bit. That's okay though, because I DCA'd on that. I've got this SFE position here. This is a guaranteed 62 cents per share times 18 shares, but they have to wait for the company to pay them before they can take my shares and give me the cash. So it's just showing as a weird 18 share balance in my portfolio, but it's not really doing anything as far as my value. So waiting for that to hit. It's not going to be huge, but it contributes. And I blew about $10 today on speculative trades on live streams, so there's that as well. But overall, I'm up $14, so nothing to worry about. That's just the noise kind of moving the market around. So beyond that, you can see that my unsettled cash here from the sells that I freed up my money on, I got about $157.75. Now that I might put into Tesla early. That's kind of why I wanted this to happen before the new month starts. So we've got the 1st. I'll make that contribution on Thursday next week. It'll probably settle by the 6th or the 7th the next week, and then I'll buy some more shares. But we'll see where Tesla is. This cash should settle Monday or Tuesday, and then I'll see where Tesla is because it's either going to go up or down. If it goes down, that's more discount for me, and I'm okay to hold and wait until it starts to pull up. If it pulls back up, that's okay. I'm still going to add some more to it anyway, and it'll be more stable for the month. So you can see there's no stress, there's no confusion. It's all just kind of pre-calculated decision making. So I don't have to think, and I like that part. So MDAI is a super low float stock as well. That's the only reason I'm still holding this. You can see it's kind of pushing up. Very low volume, but this was a nasty volume candle right here. Probably can't see it, but there was quite a bit of participation on this one. So I do expect some action in this one next week, which is why I'm holding it. I've got some pretty aggressive sellers. I got one at 424 and then another one at 723 because if this thing gets volume, it's got potential, just mathematically speaking, of shooting right back up through this momentum gap. So we'll see what happens. It's 2 shares. It's not the end of the world. $6 or $2.50. It's like $5. So not too worried about it. But I will end this recording here. I'm still not feeling great, so I will make the dividend yield diversification video next week as soon as I can. I just want to make sure that I'm clear-headed and I can talk clearly and not have discomfort distracting me and stuff like that because it's kind of a serious topic and it involves a little bit of thinking. So not my strong suit. So I will see you guys next episode. Thank you very much for watching and enjoy your weekend. Be safe.